Hi there, welcome to Storytime. I'm Kimberlyn from Life's Work Yoga. And as promised today, I really want to talk a little bit about this shift, this beginning again, and how we can establish the firm foundation, the grounding, in order to shift and do the things that we need and want to do. And for me, that really does boil down to yoga. Hashtag it's all yoga for me. I'm leading a book club currently, and it's Michael Stone's The Inner Tradition of Yoga. And I wanted to start today's story time with just an excerpt from here. He writes, yoga practice is about breaking free of the cyclic force of habitual activity and distorted mental and emotional forces that drive us to act in ways that maintain suffering. I don't know about you, but I have a story, I have a history of doing things because I'm supposed to, regardless of the fact that doing those things did not cultivate happiness and joy. In fact, they often resulted in pain and suffering and disconnection between vitality, life, inspiration itself. So I'm curious, and I would invite you to put into the comments below here, what are the habits, what are the things that you do every day? Particularly those things that you do because you have an intention to do them. They are part of your routine. Maybe they even help benefit your showing up. Let me give you an example. I don't leave the house without brushing my teeth and washing my face. I don't go to bed without washing my face and brushing my teeth. There's something about that self-care routine that not only helps me be more comfortable in my body, but it affirms for me that I'm doing the bare minimum of self-care so that I can rest, literally rest in the work of my day, knowing that I'm prepared, and rest in terms of sleep. Let me share another example. I have, generally speaking, a big cup of coffee almost every day. I toy with the notion back and forth of giving up coffee and eliminating caffeine from my diet. And I go back and forth. There are some days, yes, that is the intention. There's other days that I embrace coffee because it's one of those things that gives me a sense of grounding. In case you don't know this about me, I can get a little bit high-strung. I can get a little agitated. And although there is caffeine, that is that lifting agent in my coffee, there is a heaviness, the cream, the robustness of the flavor that helps to ground and focus me. So I think of coffee not so much as a deterrent or just something that I do, but a tool that I apply to doing my daily chores. And here's the point of my storytime lesson today, right? Storytime is about integrating life's lessons with yoga philosophy so that we can make conscious choices, breaking the habits, perhaps, of suffering that Michael Stone alludes to. So I have kept a schedule, a calendar, for as long as I can remember, even before I had independence in my daily activities that I could go do the things without having an adult assist. I've had a calendar a long time. Some of those calendars were built after the fact to remember, almost more as a journal or a diary of the things that I did that day. Others are planning tools to make sure that I'm moving in the trajectory that I want to go. But fundamentally, the basics of my calendar are those that help me prioritize the daily activities that I am learning and want to integrate into my daily structure. From that structure of a digital or a paper calendar, or both if you're in transition, learning how to let go of paper is a bit of a process. But having that firm foundation, having that go-to strategy. In fact, I even go so far as create a weekly task list. Now, this spreadsheet helps me focus my plan for how I want to show up in serving my clients, my students, my family, and fundamentally honoring my priority of self-care. So by having something structured doesn't mean that I can't adapt on the fly or be inspired in the moment. But what it does is it keeps me from chasing inspiration and gives me something to stand on so that inspiration can find me. So in a nutshell, I really do believe that choosing wisely our structure, our strategy and plan gives us greater access to the accident that is enlightenment, that is bliss state, ananda maya kosha. For me, I call that inspiration. So to wrap up, think about what it is that you do every day. Consider whether or not those tasks, those activities, those thoughts are contributing to you showing up for your best life. If they're not, it's time to give them the boot. Keep what works, discard what doesn't, and tweak what has potential but isn't quite right in their alignment to who you are and how you want to show up. So in that sense, maybe you can sort this out for yourself, and if so, go for it. Take ownership of your life. Invest in your daily living. That's the practice of yoga. If not, get a coach. If I can help you, let us connect and talk about whether or not the way in which I support my students and my clients would be of service to you. It's about saying yes to living your best life and then implementing a strategy long enough so that you can honestly, truthfully assess what's working and what's not working. And then from that wisdom, you tweak what you need to shift and change to become your personal practice. No teacher has the answer, the key, but all teachers can share what they've learned from their own experience and from their teachers to help you along the path that is uniquely yours, called life. Yoga in this context. So to wrap up our story time today, I'm going to come back to, again, Michael Stone. And this is later in chapter 7. He says, cultivating a yoga practice is not just about physical flexibility and strength. Cultivating awareness is not about race, gender, or class. It's about waking up to who we are and our place in the world. It's about waking up to our place in the world and who we are. And that is discovered when we know our firm foundation, our calm abiding space, as Stephen Cope calls it. And for me, that is built into my schedule. In fact, I have extrapolated that schedule into a full-blown life's work plan. If you want to learn more about that, hit me up and I'll share more information. But the idea is to put intentionality into practice by applying our attention. The action follows where we put our attention. And when we're clear on our intention, we know what to pay attention to. So, let me know what your daily habits are and consider how are they helping you to show up in order to be your best self and to live your best life. Yoga teaches us that if it's not helping us, it's not yoga. So the practice needs to tweak so that yoga is always about living our best lives. What are your stories? What are your habits? What are the things that are going to help you to show up more authentically and more fully today? Thanks for sharing these moments. I wish you peace and love. May you be well. Breathe deeply. Move freely. Labor lovingly. And live vibrantly. Namaste. See you next week, Tuesday, 11:30. Or if you want to go even deeper into yoga philosophy, join me on Wednesdays for Coaches Chat at 12:30. We've got book club, we've got philosophy studies, we've got teacher trainings, we've got lots of things that we can support you in the journey of integrating yoga as more than just the practice on your mat, but the way in which you show up for living your everyday. Take care and be well. Bye for now.